Welcome, folks. Farmer Cop here. This is episode 4 of our seasons series in Sandy Bay 19. So if this is what you are looking for, please stay tuned. Alright folks, welcome back to Sandy Bay 19. No new mods that I added in this time, so should just be pretty standard the way we get going here. First off, I want to say thank you if you are subscribed to the channel. Thank you. We're now up to 79 subscribers, which is fantastic. I could not imagine this channel growing as quickly as it has. And it may not seem like, yeah, that's not a very big channel yet, but still, guys, thank you for subscribing. If you really enjoy the content, I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It definitely helps me out and helps me stay motivated to keep producing content. I mean, one way or another, I'm still going to produce it, but I do appreciate seeing that there are people that are actually enjoying what I'm putting out there, so I do appreciate that. And if you enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, please hit that like button, and if there's anything you want to see in the future, please comment. I'm happy to fix things up. Alright, so quick recap. If we go into our menu over here, alright, let's do... yeah, this is what we kind of want here. So, okay. So what we need to do is we need to finish planting this and then plant these two guys with rye. So this guy's almost done planting with rye, and then we have to get those other two done hopefully today. And it's already 2:52 if you look up in the corner. And last time, if you remember, we started doing contracts. So if we jump over to our other tractor here, I will say when I saved the game left and came back in, which was like literally right after I finished recording the last episode, it told me that this contract was now completed. And we'll probably actually, you know, while we're here, we're just going to take that guy up. So I'm going to try. I have had this issues sometimes in the past, not quite this bad, but I've had issues where it wouldn't let me, like it would show the contract as not completed, and it wouldn't let me work on the field anymore after I loaded in a new save game. I've had that happen, and I think it's something to do with multiple missions. It could be to do with the map, but I believe it's the multiple missions mod that I have. So I just have to make sure I'm actually completing contracts as we go. But to make it fair, since I believe that this contract would have taken this entire thing of fertilizer, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to leave it out here. And I still want to see how much we end up using to do all these contracts and see how much money we're going to end up making. Let me see if I can. I should have just waited and unloaded it at the end of the field, but let me push it off here, and then we're going to go take this guy down to the store and reload it. You guys might be thinking, why would you even bother doing this? But I want to keep this relatively realistic, so I want to be as fair as possible with everything I'm doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and push it to... I actually have access to that. It's not the edge of the map yet, so we can drive around in here. I don't believe you can do any work in here, since if you look down on the small map, this is past the red line here. So, okay. All right, we're going to take this guy down to the store, and we're going to buy another tank of fertilizer, and then we're going to keep... actually, you know what? Before we get going on this, what we need to do, I need to hop back over to this guy. I'm going to finish this field real quick, since this is, I think, do I have to plant the bottom half there too? Yeah, so let me finish planting this, and then I should be able to hire a worker to start knocking some of this out. And then I want to get this guy up here planting right here, because this is kind of our main task, is to make sure we are getting our fields done. So I'm going to get this going, and then I'll take the other guy down to the store and get him loaded up with fertilizer, and then we'll be able to get him working on a contract while I'm working on seeding, or vice versa. One way or another, I'll be able to work on one of the goals here. So I'm going to get that going, and then I will be back with you guys. All right, folks, quick update here. So yes, as you can see, it is quite late. It is almost, and it'll about be... and I was going to say it's supposed to turn to 9, I would think, but I guess it just turned to 59. There it goes, 9. So, and also I changed the money to pounds, because I always forget to do that. A lot of times if you go back and forth between like a game that you have in dollars and one that you have in pounds, I won't remember which one's which, and just whatever you had it last switch to. So my other games will now be in pounds until I go back and switch them through. So I just need to remember when I'm switching between my No Man's Land and Sandy Bay to change that around. So first off, that's actually, we'll just go run through a few things here. So first off, we'll look at our fields here in a second. If we go up here to where we had all of our contracts, I finished these 4 contracts, so they're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and collect all those. Boom, 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 boom. So that was like around 25,000-ish. Yeah, so a decent amount of cash. We only had to buy 2 tanks of fertilizer, which is $6,400, and we still had like an extra 1,000 liters or something like that out of those tanks. So it didn't use anywhere near as much fertilizer as I honestly thought it would. So it was actually pretty good for us. I finished, if you remember in the last episode, so actually now we'll go into the map to take a look at some things. So down here in our fields, 3, 2, 1, 5, and 6. So if you remember in the last episode, I sprayed herbicide across field 3, and I was partway done with field 2. So I finished field 2, and I sprayed field 5. This field is completely planted now with rye. This one is completely planted. This one obviously is now not planted. We just couldn't get to it. I was just trying to go as fast as possible. Honestly, I think next year, with some of our harvest money, we need to get a bigger planter. Which might be something we just have to invest in. And also, too, as you can see, the whole map is basically yellow. It's because I have grass turned on. So grass is in its first state here. First harvest state. So we could harvest it now, but we want it to get to that further one. So there's more grass in the field. So I'm going to hope that maybe tomorrow it'll get into that next state. And then we can go ahead and do our first cut. So that'll help us out quite a bit if we can go ahead and cut it. Then we'll get our first cut off of all these areas, and obviously that'll take a lot of time to do, but I have the planter staged up here. It has enough seed and fertilizer now. I'm sure it'll need more seed, and then we'll have him work on getting that field done. Somewhere in the middle of field 1, we have like a big bag filled with like half full of fertilizer, just because I had to dump it to switch around with the truck. We kind of talked about that in the last episode, where I can't just unload the service truck, the pickup 2014 transport service truck. So it's hanging out there. So yeah, those guys are herbicided. Tomorrow we're going to herbicide these 2 fields. It doesn't let you herbicide them until they are in its first growing stage. I noticed that because I tried to herbicide this today, but since it's just planted, theoretically it's not going to let me do it. So we will herbicide this field and this field tomorrow, and then this one will get planted tomorrow. And then if we go over to here, as far as fertilizer states, obviously you see these guys have no weeds, which is great. They shouldn't have any. This one doesn't have any either. We need to start throwing on some fertilizer states. So we're really going to start working on fertilizing. So we want to throw, obviously that one's done. That field's basically good to go. We shouldn't have to deal with that field until harvest. 3 is just done. These 2 only have 1 fertilizer state. So these guys are going to need to be fertilized twice, which is going to be a lot of work. This one only needs 1 more, easy to knock out tomorrow. And this one still needs 2 more. And this one's going to need 2 more as well. So that's just kind of how we are. I wanted to get going on chickens at some point, but I just got so caught up trying to get all this stuff done. So essentially, I'm just kind of calling it a day. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on where we're at. Hopefully, we get some more contracts pop up tomorrow. Actually, maybe not. I guess we could lease a piece of equipment to start knocking out some contracts. We won't make as much profit, but as long as it's extra money, it's great for us. So we're sitting at $253,000. I'm hoping by the time harvest rolls around, we might be sitting closer to $300,000, just because we're doing contracts and stuff like that. So we can hopefully have enough money to buy I want to buy a nice harvester. I think we're going to buy one. Just looking at leasing and stuff, I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's worth it for us to buy a nice harvester, especially with as much field as we have, because I think we'll be able to make up a fair amount of that money back. I'm hoping with our harvest, we're going to make around, not including grass, we're going to make around $80,000 or $100,000 or 100,000 pounds off of our harvest from all of our fields. So hopefully that's the case with the 3 fields of canola and 3 of rye. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. That's what we have going on. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, I think. Not really a whole lot else I can do out here today. I mean, I guess I could keep working through the night, but I think we're just going to call it a day. All right, good morning, folks. We are in now day 5 of this year, and we are in the 5th day out of the 6 days in spring. So we're in the first day of late spring. So we have 1 more day of spring left after today. And looking at the map, the grass is not to the next state. And I'm going to go look it up just to make sure it does. It should keep going. I don't think it stops there, but I could be wrong. I don't know if it's different in seasons. Again, I haven't played seasons in a long time, so I want to go look that up probably to make sure we're not just sitting here waiting for it to get into the next state when it really is ready to go now. So obviously everything is growing except for this. So I'm not even going to go over it again. We just went over it. I know it seems like it was a little bit just because I slept and, drove the truck back and stuff. Another thing to note, driving this guy, which is really fast, I got yesterday on my way down to the store because I was distracted, wasn't paying attention. I got a 174-pound speeding fine. And then last night on my way back to the farm, since it was dark out, I forgot the trap was there. I got $500 fine, so a total of $674. So the cops definitely know Farmer Cop's name in this town, and they are wondering why Farmer Cop is out speeding around when he's supposed to represent the law. So anyhow, and also another thing to note, I don't know if I showed you guys, so you see this is unfolded here. This, if you go, so there's not anything in there, but you can, if you have something there, you can work on it. from this point right here, and this is like a vehicle menu, so that's kind of nifty. If you have the transport service truck, it also serves as a place where you can work on your cars or your trucks or tractors or whatever else you may have. So I'll go ahead and just fold it up, but yeah, I figured I'd share that. I never really showed that about this. I think I talked about it briefly, but I didn't show it. So all right, guys, I'm gonna keep working, and I'll be back if something happens. But hopefully this episode we might get through all the way through spring and into the next one. But we'll just kind of see what happens, kind of play it by ear. All right, folks, just a quick update. So this field's been planted. This one has herbicide. This one has herbicide. Well, we already knew that. And this one has herbicide. This one herbicide. This one herbicide. So what we're going to do now, I parked the planter back over here. Well, I actually dropped off the planter over here. There was like a little crate or a big bag of fertilizer that I want to get off this field and bring it back to the farm. So I'm probably going to go configure the 2014 to pick up the solid fertilizer, only like 100 liters, but I still want to get it off the field. So you can go pick that up, drop it off over here, or load it up into the seeder over here, and then we'll be able to get that to the farm. So yeah, that's what we have going on. I'm going to start working on fertilizing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this guy, and then we'll just work our way through. And we'll see if we can't put another, well, actually we're not going to be able to because we just planted it. So, and the reason I say that is because when you plant it with a seed drill that does fertilizer as well, or a planter that does fertilizer as well, it doesn't let you do anything with it until it gets to the next growth state. So right now it's just implanted, but all these guys we should be able to add a fertilizer state to, except for this one obviously doesn't need any more. And there is not any really good contracts that I'm going to even bother with. So that is, I think, kind of where we're sitting. We're actually going to get a lot done in this episode. I'm sorry I've been cutting out quite a bit. I just figured you guys probably don't need to watch me do the same thing I've been doing. So I'm just kind of trying to get all of our fields ready so we can go ahead and work on harvesting those. And then we'll see if, yeah, so I also need to, let me see if I need to go look up and see if we need to cut grass today or not. But we'll see here. You probably already know if we're going to cut grass or not, because if we are going to cut grass, it's probably going to be the thumbnail unless something more exciting happens, but that's probably going to be the thumbnail if we end up doing that. So I'm going to drive this guy back. I'm going to go get it loaded up with some liquid fertilizer. So after I get this guy loaded with liquid fertilizer, I'll start going and doing some other stuff. I did get another speeding ticket. Sorry, I slammed on my brakes as soon as I saw it, but I just, oh. And it's the same one or two that I keep getting hit by. So I got $314 out of the bank. So my bad there. But I guess it just is what it is. I'll keep track of all the speeding tickets we get. Or I guess more specifically, I get. I can't really blame you guys for my speeding. So I'll keep track of the total we end up paying in speeding tickets by the end of this. Or I end up paying in speeding tickets by the end of this gameplay series. So I'll keep track of that. Right now we're up pretty high. What, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $188 so far. I was looking down, that's why I wasn't driving very well, sorry. But yeah, so a fair amount. Actually, I'm gonna go, oh, I can drive, I don't know what happened there. Anyhow, I need to go dump the herbicide down here. I'm gonna keep, so this is kind of where I'm gonna keep all of our extra stuff. It's just, there's just an open area here, not inside the bunker cells, but in this area here, there's just some open space, so it just kind of makes sense. And it's actually gonna create 2. Because it didn't all fit in one. Perfect. That's fine. So that's herbicide. I'll probably actually use the truck to go get liquid fertilizer. The pickup truck just gets so much faster to drive that thing. I just use that thing all the time. Just gets so much faster to transport stuff with it. So, and again, there's a seeder. So that's kind of what I got going on. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to get fertilizing. And it's only 10 o'clock today. So we should be able to get a lot of the fertilizing done. At least get another extra state on all the fields that need it. So I'm pretty excited about that. We may end up going into summer, the first round of summer. We'll see how far we get in this episode. Right now we're almost halfway through it, or right around halfway through it. So we'll just see how much farther we get before whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'll keep working. All right, so a quick side note, I have this guy loaded up with fertilizer. Good to go out and fertilize fields. So the grass, yeah, it is not close to done yet. So I didn't look anything up. I just remember that you can check its growth with the MT9. So look at that, 67%. So its grass is growing, 67%, 18% moisture, or 18%. What am I thinking of that is again? Because that's its growth. That's the water in the ground. Is that the water on the plant? Gosh, I don't remember what that is. Anyhow, I'll probably look that up. But Yeah, so it's not even close to done yet. So it's at 67%. So wait until it gets to 100. So we're gonna end up getting enough out of it. And honestly, I think we're only gonna get 2 cuts out of it every year if we really push it. I think we can get 2. I don't think we're gonna end up getting 3 ever. So. But anyhow, and I think actually what we're going to end up doing, since we're not cutting the grass today, I was thinking about doing chickens. My biggest concern was our food for them. But if you look here, we got plenty of barley and wheat to feed them for, honestly, quite a while. So we have all the food we need in our starting crops here. So I think I'm going to go hire a worker to get fertilizing. And I think while the worker's fertilizing, I'm going to go ahead and get us set up for chickens. So I think that's something I want to get going. That was something I was thinking about doing in seasons. So obviously animals are way different in seasons than they are in any other regular gameplay. So... but yeah, I think we'll get that going. All right, folks, our chicken pen is, well, I don't know how many it holds, but we got 250 chickens here. 240, well, actually, let's just go into the season screen here. So 240, sorry. We have 230 that are the Cornish cross, which are the ones that only cost essentially $1 a piece or $1 a piece. So it's a little more than that. It ends up, once you get more of them in there, it ends up being more. But and then we bought roosters, which are kind of expensive. I'm not gonna lie, but so we have 10 roosters and 230 of the Cornish cross. So they're meat birds, so that's their primary concern. So I've never done meat ones on season before. I've usually done either the ones that are kind of for both, or which are the, gosh, I can't remember what they are. Let me just go into the buy screen here. Yeah, so we did Cornish crosses, which are essentially just for fast growing, fast turnaround, and profit. And they require a lot of feed. The Rhode Island Reds are mostly for both eggs and meat, and then the White Leghorns are for laying eggs. So yeah, I guess those guys are females, and those guys, and that's the, I don't know why about the roosters. I might as well put some of the, I might as well put some females in there too then, huh? I'll put some of these guys in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now sometimes some of them breed a little bit. So there we go. So 459 plus 165. I don't know what that is, but that's how much we spent on chickens. This holds 1,000 liters of food. And it says they're gonna need 60 some odd thousand, like 64,000 probably now, in food a year. So yeah, 65 a year. So they're gonna need a lot of food, but it'll be all right. It'll all work out. So yeah, we'll just wait. We'll let those guys grow up a little bit. I'm out fertilizing one of the fields. I'm just gonna leave. I love the just the kind of this map and all the ambience and everything. But yeah, so I'm just gonna leave this trailer here at the barley parked here. If we have to buy more food, not a big deal. We'll probably end up, I don't know, actually, we'll probably end up selling them before we go through the whole, where we're going to need the whole whatever, you know. So we essentially have 1,000 liters in there, and I think we have, I don't remember what I had in here. There's 14,000 in there, which is quite a bit. And then if we go into, he's not doing a very good job. I'm going to have to go fix that. Sorry, my computer just popped up a notification, so sorry about that little noise there. But yeah, if we go in here, then we have another 8,800 liters of wheat. And going into our crop planter, I was thinking about doing cotton, but I may not. But I think we'll probably do, at least on the canola fields, probably run maybe 1 or 2 of them as alfalfa, since that's one of the new crops. I really want to do that in this series. And then I also want to run some wheat, and then that'll help cover our chickens. So that will take care of that, and that should be good right behind canola. That should be pretty good for those guys there, the 1.14. The canola is going to be really freaking good. And actually, the rye is going to be really freaking good, too. One of the fields actually was a fallow before, which is perfect, and then one had cotton before, which is perfect. So that's why this is all set up the way it is. Well, actually, one of the rye fields may or may not be good. The biggest one actually may or may not be good because I don't remember what was in it before. So, but yeah, and I didn't know cotton was a grass. But anyhow, we'll kind of decide what we want to do as well, in addition to doing a couple fields of wheat and alfalfa. So we'll decide that as we go. Not a big deal. So you probably already know then that we had chickens. You probably knew we were going to do that in this episode, probably because that was probably the thumbnail, since we're not harvesting any grass or anything. But I'm going to go hop over, check out our guy that's doing fertilizing, and then see kind of how he's doing, because he's not doing well based on what it looks like. But yeah, I'll be back with you guys later. Alright folks, so I didn't get everything I wanted to get done, and not because of time. Obviously I still have plenty of time in the state, but I go in here to take a look. So that guy we already know, fertilized, good to go, wanted to touch it. This guy added the fertilizer state, and this guy added the fertilizer state. So now this one's done, don't need to touch it. Tomorrow we need to add herbicide to this, fertilizer to this, and fertilizer to this. So I guess these guys are still not letting me add a fertilizer state for whatever reason. So I'll try again tomorrow to add a fertilizer state to this guy, and then this one will have to be herbicide. Then hopefully we can get it up to 3 states before harvest. But we'll just kind of have to play it by ear. But that's about all it's letting me do, and I tried it on all those fields, and it's not letting me add any more fertilizer. So we're kind of just stuck there with what we got going on. I still don't think there's any. Oh, I haven't checked in a while. Looks like there's a couple new contracts up here. So actually, this might be how I finish off the day here. I'm going to go and accept that, and accept that. So I'll go ahead and knock those 3 fertilizing contracts out, and then I will call it a day here. So that's what I got going on. I'll just keep working. All right, folks, so I finished out the contracts. All of our contracts are done, so now we're sitting at $260,000, and, well, I may or may not have gotten another speeding ticket. That would make 4 just this episode, so I do apologize about that. That's another $252 out of our pocket. But anyhow, the good news is we did all those contracts to help cover it, so contract screen is looking pretty naked now. Not a whole lot of stuff in there. Another thing, what I did buy, so technically speaking, in this map, this outer section is $0, so you just kind of own it. So over here, I purchased a pallet sell point right there, and the reason I did that is so that way if we go out of here and we go into the seasons thing, because I look down here at pellets, try saying either one 5 times fast, but so looking in here, I put one in just because it's going to start marking them as 0. I don't know if the price will actually change at all. It might just stay the same. Who knows? But I'm not going to be able to figure that out unless this is going on. So there's that. Let me see here. Yeah, so I don't know what rye is going to be either, or if it's just going to kind of be pretty consistent. Let me go up to... So coming up here, we might end up selling some of our crops we have just sitting in the silos. Maybe not sunflowers, probably wait here till sunflowers. But the canola will probably sell pretty quick after we harvest it. And then what do we have? Rye. Rye is pretty consistent, so we're not going to worry about that. But yeah, so that's kind of, I was just taking a little look at that stuff here. The chickens still have plenty of food for a while. They have created 4 eggs for us now, which is great. That's like probably 10 cents. But anyhow, it's 18:28 hours, so 6:28 here in game. So I'm probably going to call it a night since I can't really do a whole lot now. But I thought the one thing I'm thinking I may do, just because if we go and look into here, so we own the BGA, obviously. Which, boy, that's a lot more than we were getting or thinking about getting for manure and slurry than we were going to get in No Man's Land. It's a lot more. But so silage is only $270 even at the BGA. And even if we go out of here and we go into the seasons menu and look at how silage kind of rolls, where's it going to be at? Silage. It's not. That says it's not going to get very high at all, and that's just the other sell points. But still, so the BGA is probably a consistent 270, so we're not going to get a lot of money. So that's why I was thinking, instead of maybe using our grass to do, since we're not going to do like big animals, we'll probably just do chickens. I'm going to do all my big animals in my No Man's Land series. So I got pigs going on there now, and I'm probably going to do cows on there later. So if you haven't seen that series, check it out. Yeah, so I'm thinking what we're going to end up doing is, just because it's worth so much more, so we're going to try to use the DLC, the new DLC for the pallet sell point, because hay pellets, holy crap, those are worth a lot of money. I mean, given if we go into, sorry, let me go into the store here. And I'm not sure on seasons. I know you get less if you sell the pellets loose, but I don't know if that's the case on seasons, because it's just kind of that one price. And I know you can sell them loose or in the form of a pallet. But if we have to sell them in the form of a pallet, we're looking at getting the palletizer, which is $400,000, which is a ton of money. So we'd have to end up doing a lot to make it back. So that's why I'm thinking maybe we just do them loose. And also, we'd probably have to end up leasing what we would to do it. You know what? Let's just do this by brand. You'll find all the Crone stuff in here somewhere. No, I thought I just recognized the brand. I thought it would stand out. There. Okay. Perfect. Go down here to the DLC stuff. So, yes, there's this guy. This is the pelletizer, essentially. The Primos 5000. So this is the guy that can pelletize straw and hay right on the field, or you can do it elsewhere. So This is gosh, it's so expensive. We would get it, we'd load it manually just to keep it more realistic, but still, I mean, even at 16 grand to lease it, you'd have to do, you'd have to do 10,000 liters to pay for just that of just hay, which, I mean, you'd get that pretty easily, honestly. It's a lot. I mean, that's the other thing too, is you get so many pellets off of doing that. I think that might just be, oh man, I might want to do that. We also would have to buy a tedder probably, and probably a windrower as well. So it'd probably need, yeah, I mean, honestly, all those sizes would probably be fine. We'd probably get the 16,000 guy, and then we'd have to get a windrow. We'd need probably, make it more efficient, probably want to get at least the 30 grand guy here. So if I'm doing some math real quick, if we have to buy that hull, we can't lease the hull, can we? I don't know if that's, I don't know if I ever tried to do that. No, obviously you can't. That's right. Darn it. So we'd have to buy that. So it'd be 400,000. And if we bought the pelletizer right out, it'd be our 320,000 plus 16,000 for a tedder and another, what do we say, 50,000 for the windrower. We're looking at 786,000. Oh, so much money. What we may end up doing, which if we can't, so I don't know how much money we're going to get off a harvest. We still want to look at getting a combine, which a combine is going to set us back again, more money. So I don't know how much we're going to make off our chickens. Probably not a ton. We do have a little bit as far as crops in storage, but if we just bought the tedder and the windrower maybe, and then we just started collecting all of the hay off the field and just putting it in one of our silage. I think we can just put it in one of the silage areas. Or no, actually we could put it in that big garage we have at the top. Load it up, just drop it in there, and then we can, from there, because if we go into the map here, we'll just hop over to the map. So if we go over down to our farm, this huge warehouse here, we could, I think, load up with hay. So if we loaded that up with hay, just got it all twice, collected all that hay, which would be a boatload, it would probably be, and we could keep track of how many liters that would be, and then we could see if, because then we could take the pelletizer, which just isn't ideal, but we could, well, actually what we would do probably, sorry, I'm kind of talking through a lot of stuff here on my own as well, figuring this out with you guys, but we could hook up the milling machine, pull in here with the trailer, load up the trailer, come out down to, anywhere in the field here or out here on the pavement, and then just lay out a row of hay, take the pelletizer slowly over it. It might have to go over a couple times to get it all. Turn it all into hay pellets, just that way we don't have to worry about a baler or anything like that. And after that's all into hay pellets, then what we could do is, then we could sell it from there, or turn it into pallets from there. So if we got the palletizer, and stuff like that. But what we could do is keep track of how many, because I'm pretty sure it's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio where you're getting for hay, for pellets for hay as far as liters go, which would make sense. So we'll kind of keep track of how much we got and see, like, okay, if we sold this as pellets, how much would we get? And once we have enough where we're essentially going to pay for everything, we'll just drop a big loan, we'll get everything, and then we'll make a bunch of pellets in one day and then pay off the loan real quick. We should be able to, just as much stuff as we own, as much land and everything else that we own, I don't think we'd have any issue taking out a really big loan. We could go check here to see, we could check how much we could get, but I'm sure it would be easy enough to get that. But again, we don't want to just keep getting hit with the interest, because the interest on like $800,000 loan, essentially, we're looking at thousands of dollars a day. So we don't want to have that hit there. But if we can get enough where we can just cover it right away, I think that would be perfect for us. So yeah, let me get this guy. I'm just going to drive him home, and then we're going to go ahead and jump through the night. And I think I'll try to get tomorrow done in this episode too, because really all we're going to do tomorrow is just take care of this. I don't think we're going to have the ability to, I don't think we're going to be able to mow the hay right off the bat. Yeah, I had grass turned on. I didn't turn it off. My game actually crashed, but thankfully I saved it, and then it immediately crashed right after I saved it, which I've never had that happen. Really weird, but it's thankfully our game was saved and I didn't have to redo anything. But yeah, so I'll fast forward us through the night, and by that I'm just going to go sleep once it gets late enough, and then I'll go ahead and I'll knock out what I can on these fields, and then that'll probably be right where we end the episode. So I'm going to go ahead and get going with that. All right, folks, I am back here. So it is the next day. Some weird developments here. So I was able to fertilize this field and add a fertilizer state. It wouldn't let me do 6, 1, or 2. So I'm not sure what's up with that. But it looked like they were in there. Well, I guess they're still in that. that's why it's not letting me do it. I'm an idiot. It is still in that one growth stage there, I believe. Right? It looks like it still is. Yeah, that's still in its second growth stage, so it needs to go up in our growth stage. So we'll wait on that. I went ahead and I sprayed. It wouldn't let me hit the whole field with herbicide, so I just hit the areas that had weeds, or at least it wouldn't show it. So I was kind of worried I wasn't gonna get enough on there. So anyway, we'll still get plenty of fertilizer spates on those. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so I just have to wait a little longer. So but yeah, I think that's about it for this episode. Yeah, this place is just a mess, just junk everywhere. But yeah, this has been Farmer Cop. I hope you enjoyed Sandy Bay 19 in Seasons episode 4. Is this 4? Yeah, 4. So this is going to come out on the 13th of April. So I'm recording just the day before. But sorry I didn't really talk about any cop stuff this episode either. It's just kind of all business, all farm, sim, whatever. So I apologize about that. It seems like I tell more cop stories in my No Man's Land series. But anyhow, guys, that's about all I have for us today. I think, and also, too, another thing I thought about actually before I let you guys go is if we're going to do hay, which I think we are going to do, I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. We have to worry about it drying out, since it has 3 states, essentially. It goes from wet grass to semi-wet grass, then to hay, which is just dried grass. So we have to make sure we get it all dried out in time and everything like that. It'll take it some more time on the field to dry, and we want to make sure it doesn't rot. So it'll take a little bit more skill to get there, but I think we can do it. So we are going to go ahead and work on that. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're always informed when I post a new video. And if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything I can do better, please let me know down there in the comments. But again, this has been Farmer Cop. Thank you for watching.